Attention passionate Baltimore Ravens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Baltimore Ravens' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Baltimore Ravens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Baltimore, RAVENS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. What if I told you that the Ravens are potentially on the verge of making a move that could reshape their entire offensive line, and in turn, drastically enhance their chances of making a serious run at the Super Bowl? Yes, we're talking about a trade rumor that's been buzzing around the league. Joel Bitonio from the Cleveland Browns could be coming to Baltimore. And if this happens, it might be one of the most impactful moves we've seen in recent years. But let's break it down, because this isn't just about adding a veteran guard. It's about shifting the entire power structure within the AFC North and potentially the AFC as a whole. Right now, the Ravens are sitting at a solid 9-7 record, holding on to second place in the division. But there's no denying their offensive line has been a concern this season. Lamar Jackson has been fantastic, as always, but his protection has taken some hits, especially with injuries and inconsistent blocking. An upgraded offensive line could be the missing piece to unlock that next level of offensive efficiency. And from what we're hearing, Joel Bitonio could be the guy to do just that. Sources suggest that the Browns, fresh off a rough 5-11 season, are actively exploring trades to revamp their roster, especially on offense. They're looking to free up cap space and bring in some younger offensive linemen. The Browns, after losing in Week 15 to the Steelers 10-28, are focused on rebuilding, and reportedly, they're prioritizing cap relief and acquiring draft capital. The word is that Cleveland might be willing to send Bitonio, a durable and highly respected guard, to Baltimore in exchange for a second-round pick. Why would Cleveland do that? Well, the Browns are sitting on about $18 million in cap space, but they also need to address other areas like wide receiver and secondary. Sending Bitonio, who is a proven and reliable blocker, could open up almost $19 million in cap space for 2026, giving them flexibility to address their roster needs. Plus, with the Browns planning to focus on extending key players like Nick Chubb, who they might want to keep around longer, trading a veteran like Bitonio makes strategic sense. Now, let's talk about Bitonio himself. Drafted in 2014, he's been a mainstay on Cleveland's offensive line, starting 165 games and earning a solid PFF grade of 89.0 on average. His best season was in 2022, where he allowed only 8 sacks and maintained a low penalty count, just 3 penalties per season on average. In 2025, he's played 880 snaps, allowed only 2 sacks, and earned a PFF grade of 90.5, which ranks him as one of the top guards in the league. He's not just a stonewall in pass protection. He also excels in run blocking with a yards per open hole average of 4.9 yards and an impressive 87.2% success rate in run blocking in 2024. Plus, he's been remarkably healthy with no significant injuries this season, and his versatility and consistency would make him a perfect fit for the Ravens' interior line. Baltimore's current offensive line has been solid, but adding Bitonio could turn it into a true strength. His presence would elevate the entire unit, especially considering the importance of protecting Lamar Jackson, whose ability to scramble and extend plays relies heavily on good blocking. With Bitonio's experience and skill, Jackson's back issue in December, something that's been a concern, could be less of a problem because he'd have a more stable pocket to work from. Think about it. The Ravens could see their rushing attack surge from around 800 yards this season to over 200. That would be a significant boost, especially for a team that relies heavily on the run game. With Lamar, the threat of play action becomes even more dangerous when the line holds up well, and that's exactly what Bitonio would bring. His addition could give J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards even more room to operate, turning the offense into a juggernaut that defenses simply can't stop. And it's not just about the run game. The pass protection would see a remarkable upgrade. Currently, Baltimore is allowing around 40 sacks this season, but with Bitonio anchoring the interior, projections suggest that number could drop to around 25. That's a massive difference. giving Jackson more time to read the field and make those big plays we know he's capable of delivering. Plus, his presence in the trenches would add much-needed stability and experience, especially in playoff situations where every snap counts. Now, some fans might wonder about the Browns' perspective. Cleveland, after all, is in a bit of a rebuild mode, and they're reportedly prioritizing extending Chubb, who's been a cornerstone of their offense. They're also eyeing other roster moves to stay competitive in the long run. The trade might seem risky for Cleveland, but if they get a solid second-round pick and clear cap space, it could be a smart move to accelerate their rebuild. On the other hand, for Baltimore, this is a chance to solidify their offensive trenches, arguably the most critical aspect of any Super Bowl-winning team. From Baltimore's standpoint, acquiring Bitonio would send a clear message. They're all in on making another deep playoff run. The team has been built around Lamar Jackson's dynamic playmaking, but to truly contend, they need a dominant OL that can hold up against the best defenses in the league. Think Steelers, Bengals, and even playoff-caliber teams like the Kansas City Chiefs. Bitonio's experience against top-tier defenses and his consistency in the trenches could be the X-factor in elevating Baltimore's chances. And let's not forget the implications for the AFC playoff picture. If this trade goes through, odds for the Ravens to reach Super Bowl LX could see a significant shift. Currently, their odds are around +1-0, which already makes them underdogs, but with a real shot. If Bitonio joins the team and they gel quickly, those odds could drop to +500 or even better, especially given how much an improved offensive line can boost the entire team's performance. It's a move that could turn Baltimore into a true contender, similar to what the Philadelphia Eagles did in 2022 when they boasted a dominant offensive line that helped them reach the Super Bowl. This potential trade also signals a broader strategic shift for Baltimore. It's about building a team that's not just talented, but also resilient and capable of winning in the trenches. The Ravens have always been known for their toughness and physicality, and adding a player like Bitonio, a cornerstone of Cleveland's line for nearly a decade, would reinforce that identity. The idea is to create a trench war that favors Baltimore, making them more formidable in both the run and pass game, especially when it matters most, playoff time. Of course, all of this hinges on whether the trade actually materializes. There are still questions about whether Cleveland is willing to part with such a key player, and whether Baltimore can meet the Browns' asking price. But given the current landscape of the NFL and the importance of the offensive line in the modern game, it's a move that makes a lot of sense for both sides. For Baltimore fans, it's an exciting possibility, one that could turn a good team into a true contender, elevating their Super Bowl aspirations and restoring that feeling that this year could be the one. In the broader context, this move would also be reminiscent of the kind of strategic trades that helped teams like the Dallas Cowboys in the 1990s or the recent Eagles during their Super Bowl run, when investing heavily in the offensive line paid huge dividends. For the Ravens, it's about making a statement. We're all in, and we're ready to dominate the AFC once again. The AFC North has been a fierce division, with the Bengals and Steelers always lurking, but a trade like this could give Baltimore that extra edge they need to take control and not just compete but dominate. So fans, keep an eye on this story. It's shaping up to be one of the biggest moves of the offseason, and if it happens, it could set the tone for the Ravens' entire 2024 season. Imagine Lamar Jackson, protected by a veteran like Bitonio, leading a powerhouse offense that's tough, balanced, and ready to take on anyone in the league. That's the kind of team that can make a real Super Bowl run, and we might just be on the cusp of witnessing a historic transformation. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Baltimore Ravens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Baltimore Ravens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think acquiring Joel Bitonio would be the key to pushing us over the edge? Would you trade a second-round pick for him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Ravens. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Baltimore Ravens news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting yet, and with moves like this potentially on the table, the future looks brighter than ever.